So Justin Herbert broke his hand on Sunday against the Raiders, and the big question everyone's asking is how long is he going to be out? Jim Harbaugh had a press conference, and honestly, it was vintage Harbaugh, just absolutely bizarre. They asked him straight up about Justin Herbert's timeline, what's going on with the injury, and Harbaugh was like, well, he's having surgery today, and we'll know more this afternoon or tonight. Okay, cool, but how long is he actually going to be out? And Harbaugh basically just repeated himself without really answering the question. Then he went off on this whole tangent about how wowed he is by Herbert and how tough he is, and even all these former players who are really tough. And then he's like, you know what, actually, everybody that plays football is tough in the NFL. Actually, anyone that plays at any level of football is tough, and you got to have thick skin like an armadillo. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh, Jim, come on. It's real bizarre when a coach doesn't give you an answer, and it's usually because they don't really have an answer, or they don't want to give you the answer that will lead to more questions. We used to see this with the Detroit Lions and Matt Patricia. Remember him? The former Patriots guy who would never answer any question? He was just being a jerk, basically. It was so annoying. Dan Campbell answers everything, and you're just like, that's so refreshing. It's just kind of weird, but you get it. And if you don't have an answer, you don't have an answer. So Jim Harbaugh not giving us a clear answer here, but here's what we do know. Justin Herbert broke a bone in the back of his left hand during the game. Harbaugh announced after the win that he's going to have a procedure done on Monday. Both Harbaugh and Herbert said it's unclear if the quarterback will miss any time going forward. The Chargers' next game is a Week 14 primetime date with the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. Herbert said both he and the Chargers' medical staff are hopeful that he won't have to miss any games. He's treating it as if he's playing on Monday. He said they were very hopeful for that, and that's something they'll see after the surgery and get a feel for. The fact that they were very hopeful is always a good thing. Harbaugh said, we'll see where the week takes us, and later added that Herbert's as tough as they come. They taped it up, put a glove on it, and he played a great game. Now, here's the thing about Justin Herbert. He has played through injuries before. Remember, he had the ankle injury? He's just an animal, and he's saying that he can play through this. So we all want to know, is he going to be out for 3 weeks? Is he going to be out for the rest of the season? Is he going to be out for a couple days? That's what we don't know yet. What actually happened during the game was Trey Lance led the Chargers' next offensive series after Herbert got injured. But Herbert returned to the game a few minutes into the second quarter and promptly threw a 10-yard pass to Keenan Allen to move the chains on third down. Herbert said they just put a hard cast on it, put a glove around it, and that was basically it. That's how he returned to the game. Herbert stayed in for the rest of the game, but here's the interesting part. He did not line up under center. Instead, he stayed in shotgun and pistol formations to avoid any snaps near the line of scrimmage. Herbert said post-game that Lance was ready to come in if the Bolts got into possible goal line formations. It was more so just about ball security and understanding that if they don't have to go under center, there's no need for it. They were ready in 4-minute situations, and if they were going to go in goal line or anything like that, Trey was ready to go. It's just something they'll monitor as the week goes on. Harbaugh added that getting under center felt that would be difficult, so they're operating exclusively out of the shotgun. Herbert said the most difficult part of playing with the cast was holding on to the ball. Ball security is at a paramount. He thinks he did a good enough job of that in the pocket. Just giving the ball to the running backs is just stuff to work on. And get this, Herbert has played through injuries before, including a broken finger on his left hand during the 2023 season, so he has experience with this kind of thing. He said in terms of experience, he's gone through similar things, and that will be helpful. At the end of the day, he just has to go out there and make sure everything is good and he's comfortable. As long as the trainers and doctors are feeling that it's safe to return to play, he trusts those guys completely. There's actually an interesting take from the Oregon Ducks website that says Justin Herbert could play smarter if he has this injury. The biggest concern is how he catches the ball in the shotgun formation, but as long as Herbert can do that, he should be able to play at a high level. Herbert will have to be more cautious, avoiding hits, and without the offensive line help that we all know about and have talked about a million times, he could just get rid of it, may not take unnecessary hits, could go further into the season unless he was really trying to make plays and all that. So it could actually hinder some things, but ultimately it could keep him on the field for a longer duration because he's got to deal with his hand and he's not going to be wanting to be screwing around. That's an interesting thought to put it like that. Now let's talk about the bigger picture here. The Chargers won this game. And remember, we talked about this a lot. The Chargers had to win this game. They had to because of the upcoming schedule, how they're trying to get into the playoffs and what's going on. And they got this win and got it done. So if you look at the updated playoff standings, the Chargers are in great shape. I know it just feels weird because the offensive line is so bad that you're like, can we hold on to this? What's going to happen? But take a look at this. With 5 games left, the Chargers sit at 8-4 and occupy the number 5 seed in the AFC playoff picture. Philadelphia is playing so weird these last few weeks. You don't know if they're good. You don't know if they're bad. It's hard to tell what they are right now. And you have them Monday night. And this is what we've been talking about and building up to. What an awesome opportunity. This is what, as an NFL fan, December football, Monday night against the NFL Super Bowl champions in your building. Let's go. Love that. So you got that. Then Kansas City. Then you see those last 4 games. It's just going to be like, all right, here we go. Here we go. But what an opportunity. The next one in front of you is a really awesome one and really exciting. And it's an extra game for Justin Herbert to get possibly better. Now you take that and you look at the NFL playoff picture. And the top 4 seeds, remember, are the division leaders. Broncos leading your division. The Broncos. It's just one of those things like Broncos and Bears. You're not mad at either one of them, but you're just like, shout out to you for keep winning, finding ways to win. Nobody's like, oh my gosh, they're so good. Absolutely the number 1 seed. It's like, no, just finding ways to win. But yeah, they're kind of interesting how the AFC and NFC have some similarities. The Chargers are sitting there in the 5 seed, but look at this, 8-4. Now on the bubble is the Texans at 7-5. So the Texans, they could slide up above the Jags more of as a division leader type of thing. So you've got the Texans, and then that's it. Steelers 6-6. So you're 2 games ahead of all but one team right here, the Texans, that are just kind of hanging around. Bills, Colts, Chargers. So what if you slid down to the 7th seed or whatever, right? The Texans, you want the Texans to lose, is what I would say. Just start rooting for that. Get them out of here. Create that separation between the haves and have-nots and just be done with it. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles are 8-4. The way you could look at it really is that the playoffs start now. And that's awesome. Fun and terrifying all wrapped together.
If the Chargers can win this, go to 9-4, who knows? And then out of the Colts, Bills, Texans, and Jags, somebody's going to lose. Boom! You just built another game lead. That's how it works. They just kind of keep surviving and advancing. I love it. Would love to see the Chargers get in the playoffs for 2 years in a row with a banged-up offensive line. And I think Justin Herbert is going to be fine. I know, easy for me to say. I didn't break my hand then playing an NFL game, but I think he's going to be fine. Get him out there. You can catch the ball in shotgun, and make some plays. Now let's talk about some other roster news. When the Chargers take on the Eagles in Week 14, there's growing optimism that Omarion Hampton will be on the field. The Los Angeles Chargers haven't seen rookie running back Omarion Hampton on the field since Week 5. But as they prepare for a matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 14, Hampton is getting closer to a return. There's optimism entering the week that Chargers starting running back Omarion Hampton can end up returning to action and playing next Monday when the team faces the Eagles. Hampton was first eligible to come off of injured reserve in Week 9. However, it's clear that he still needed some extra time to recover. He was reportedly still in a walking boot in Week 8. The Chargers are going to play it safe with their prized rookie. They aren't going to put him back out there if they fear re-injury. But if Hampton gets full clearance to make his return, Los Angeles' offense would be getting a major boon. In the 5 games he appeared in before his ankle injury, Hampton turned 66 carries into 314 yards and 2 touchdowns per game. He added another 20 receptions for 136 yards. The rookie will become a focal point of the offense upon re-entry. Kamani Vidal will take a hit, although his work has been impressive in Hampton's absence. He ran for 126 yards and a touchdown in the Chargers' Week 13 win against the Raiders. As Hampton gets reacclimated, Vidal should still have a role, but once Hampton is up to speed, he should take over the backfield. That's at least why the Chargers used the first-round pick on him. That return could come as early as Week 14. And speaking of running backs, late last week, the Chargers signed running back Jarrett Patterson to the active roster after he ran out of game day elevations for the season. To fill his place on the practice squad, the Chargers have signed veteran running back Royce Freeman. The move brings the total number of running backs to 3 on the practice squad: Freeman, Amon Johnson, and Travion Williams, with Kamani Vidal and Jarrett Patterson as the 2 backs on the active roster. Freeman last played in an NFL game in 2023 as a member of the Los Angeles Rams. That year, he rushed for 319 yards and 2 touchdowns. Originally a third-round pick by the Broncos out of the University of Oregon, Freeman's best year came as a rookie in 2018 when he rushed for 521 yards and 5 touchdowns. He currently has career totals of 1,792 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns across stints with Denver, Carolina, Houston, and the Rams. So that's where we're at. The Chargers are in a great position at 8-4, sitting in that 5th seed. Justin Herbert is having hand surgery, but is hopeful he won't miss